Yes, please.
Yes, I'm sorry to take you back. I didn't manage to attend yesterday's afternoon session. I was inviting something from my colleague who was there yesterday about the assessment for learning, whereby you say that if a set of learners have achieved their learning outcomes quite faster than the rest, they can be able to progress to other sections as allow the other ones to also grasp learning outcomes. Now my question comes to the semester basis. If I have, let's say, students in 1.1, and part of those learners have grasped their content early enough, and others are still trying to grasp it. So can I push the other section that has grasped this information early to go to 1.2?
No.
So how do we imagine that?
Thank you very much. You see, this is something that is technical. That is a very, very valid observation. That means that you are understanding very well the use of competences vis-a-vis the traditional teaching. Now, when it comes to progression, basing on competences, it works well in a modular system. Because in a modular system, a person finishes a module, is supposed to be given a certificate, goes for another module. Doesn't need to wait for others. But now, National Council is trying to force a big elephant into a small room. How? Actually, the idea of notional hours works well in modular system, not in semester system. But we are fitting the modular system into semester system, which is hard. But still, there are many modifications that are yet to be done. So for the meantime, we go by this. But really, in the real competence-based education, if you, for example, you take a leaf from the states, it is that when a student may even do 3 courses at once, if the person is able to progress, why not? But here we say that graduation load for a given program should be the same. But basically, if it is about competences, a student may take even all the courses as long as can gain the competences. Why stop here? But that is something maybe we shall keep benchmarking for and advocating for until everything is put in order. But the beginning is not that. We have to start.
So, now this part is going also to depend on your university program.
I can read.
Yeah, you can just read the activities that is, because now we are looking at developing cerebral completion up to a point of accreditation. That's the roadmap that we are going to look at. Okay? So we're going to set the timelines, activities, and then the responsible persons with them. So the first activity
is the completion of the two curricula, that is the biological and physical. When do you think the documents can be ready? The biological can be ready by tomorrow.
Now, when we talk about completion, first of all, we're going to develop the content. Now, once we develop the content, then there is that preamble. The preamble, you know it. I've seen it in your curriculum, that preamble. But of course, this one here be tailored towards the higher education access program, and also you have to note that we are not going competence-based, where a number of things have changed. So it's not just going to be a copy and paste from the other one, but there's also, just like we are really changing, if you look at your current curriculum compared to now what we have talked about, you will see a difference. So even in the preamble, there should also be that difference to be implied. So when you talk about this document now ready for completion, we mean now to combine all. But what we are talking about here, it is now what's going to be. Because that one, someone can be working on it in parallel. As also the technical people are developing there.
Actually, for the biological, it is all about customization of the sections that we need to do.
Yes.
Just putting more.
Because one person can work with that preamble, say like the AR, and then we now press in each, and then make little changes. If it is biological, you are mentioning biological here, and also mentioning physical this side. So those are the kind of changes. Here you talk about biology, chemistry, here you talk about physics and math. But the rest of that thing, the division, and all that remain the same. And also when you're including the support staff, sorry, the teaching staff, the facilitators, you include the people who are actually going to teach with us all the specialty, the qualification, the year, and the university, where they qualified. So all that is required, it's a requirement, because those are the check at the what?
Yeah, the biological has all that, the formats are there.
So I'm just giving so that you don't leave anything out. But what we require here in this one is the content that you're developing, because at one point we want to receive it, and then review it again, then now provide maybe some comment, and then you finalize and then start following your accreditation procedures right from the faculty, the quality assurance, the Senate, and then national council. So, what amount of time do you think you need to complete what we are doing here?
Yeah, maybe for the better guidance, when do you need us to send you?
No, it is here. It is your document. It's not ours. It is your document. So it depends on, for example, you can say in August, okay, we want to start implementing this new curriculum. Okay? And then now, what time does National Council for Education sit for accreditation? I think they sit 4 times in a year. Okay? Maybe between now and August they are going to sit. So you target that. So that by August itself, maybe your curriculum is approved. So you set the basis of that. But otherwise, we just wait for how ready you are. For us, when you give us, we only take maximum 4 days, right? If they give us to the we
4
take
days,
maximum 4 days. So, but what is important is this exercise. The time that you need to complete this is what is important. Our experience is that if you give yourself a lot of time, you don't finish. First of all, you forget. Secondly, you become lazy, and then we have gone to some universities where they last saw the things since we were there. If you call them, they have never gone back. It's total waste of time. But here, we were so encouraged when we saw you when you were departing here yesterday. You were still gathering to work out to almost 7. That was you see, that was very good attitude. From the participants. We were really so much encouraged, and we really know that you want to see this. But what I would imagine, 2 weeks should be enough for you to finish.
Actually, I wanted to propose
17th of next month. That's still about 3 weeks.
Because we have something that we are doing, we present on 8, then from 8 up to that time, we can utilize that time, then we give, that's when we have the exam.
Yes.
So maybe
So he's proposing 17th of June. 17th of June, that's when it will be ready.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe colleagues can also.
So you can give suggestions. At least you have a baseline. And you have to be real here. Can we go by 17?
No.
So the 17th of June, 2026.
Who will lead? Will lead, yes.
I suggest that we give you a feedback on the timeline by the time we finish our lunch, because I don't think everybody will have to be involved. It must have a team, it must have a head, it must be organized to be worked on. I don't think the same members will come back here to do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Suggesting that we give you feedback immediately lunch is done.
Yeah, all that we shall have organized with the focal person who should organize others to do A, B, C, D, and how they share.
Okay, now what to do? You just go through these activities. That's the first one. Then the second one is review. That's when you are done. Send it to us. That's us. So we only take, we have to say 4 days. And then now we give you a feedback. Okay? In the feedback, we make corrections, and then we start doing your approval of the cell. Then the faculty curriculum development and review committee will look at it. When we test it, yeah, if it is something which is very important to the university, you can organize a city, even if we don't have a cycle of it. And quality assurance committee, when they sit, or can you call a meeting for them to sit and look at this? And then the Senate, and then the submission to the National Council for Education for accreditation. So that's the timeline that we are talking about. But all that is based on the next exercise which you yourself are going to do. So we can wait after that, then give the feedback, and then we complete this timeline. Yeah, because we want to give you support until you now send it for accreditation. Sometimes you send it for accreditation and then they give it to us by National Council to review. They can say, okay, Dr. Anito will use biological, Dr. Tim will use
We had done it and we were told what to do. We had just concluded that, but I can see this one requires a lot of, as you said, customize,
yes,
to edit,
yes,
do a few things to make sure that it is up to this standard.
Yes.
We have done it. This is the level 3 now. We have submitted, then we were advised to do a few things, add some few things. We did. That is why I was looking around to ask the dean. Then after that, you have come in. This is the better version which we need to now work on. With accreditation, no issues. I think they are waiting for some of these things to be done because they had already accredited it previously as it was before these innovations came in. So when we were advised, we did the editing. The dean took up the responsibility and they did the work. Now this one is another level now. That is why I was looking around. We must have a focal person, we must have a team, we must have so that we are sure that even when you are calling somebody. Even when they are calling you on advice and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Thank you. We can do that.
Yeah.
Over to you. Yes.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation since yesterday. There is something crucial that I think we have not been talked about in this competence-based education, and that's about assessment. We have learned that we have some changes in the curriculum, and we have changed from contact hours to non-normal hours, and so on. Now, how about the assessment? We have been having tests, we have been having coursework, we have been having end of semester examinations. And according to the knowledge about the competence-based, the mode of setting changes. These items have to be set, prompting this learner to think critically and solve a given problem. So how about I request that we are given some knowledge about this, the assessment.
Yeah, he was talking more about assessment as learning assessment for learning.
Maybe when we looked about it, it was not as
Assessment for learning. Yeah, and in this assessment which you are doing, you're not just doing it and then no record. Okay? It's actually continuous assessment until the end of the course. And this assessment constitutes 60%. Okay? 55. 50% of what? Of the entire examination process. And then the final exam, which is the summative, contributes also 50%. So, but at the, I think at master undergraduate is 60.
Yeah, for master undergraduate is 60.
Yeah, even at
40 summative.
Summative is 40. This one where you see for 3 hours.
But that change of course needs Senate.
Yes.
It goes to Senate for approval, then approved by council, and then the university should have a policy on that. Yeah. But as the university is developing the curriculum, it can also be drafting the policy so that they go together.
Which policy?
Assessment.
Oh, assessment.
Yeah, because I imagine you're using 40/60.
We have, maybe we need other few things, but we have. Because with competence-based training and learning, many things will have changed and some policies will have changed.
Exactly.
The examination guidelines will have changed. There are many things we must customize to fit into this.
Yes, exactly. That's
But
what
we have. The assessment policy we have.
Yeah,
The review curriculum and what we have.
what I was trying to mean is like at the initial policy that we had about assessment was saying the coursework will be 40 and final exams is 60. Unless you document it, a student who is stubborn can sue the university. Even the policy has
It must be documented. The council has to approve it.
Yeah.
You explained that one yesterday. What is required is to make sure that assessment is part of this document.
Yes. Yes.
Then after that, then everything you want must be approved.
Yes.
Whether it is going to be online, whether it is being to be branded, whether it is so that when you submit, you are aware. Yeah.
My inquiry was not about that the marks, but the scenario based that you set something for this learner to think and give solutions.
Actually, yesterday it was, and even part of the morning, someone asked about entrepreneurship. We talked about scenarios, we talked about case studies. She asked about it, but for me in entrepreneurship, when we are talking of competencies, assessment, how can I do it? We mentioned that case studies and then the scenarios. But also, that is going to the field. And then problem solving, but then we say that even in competence test, assessment should be more of assessment as learning. That if the learner is in class, you can award the learner not only what the learner can interpret from the question paper, but what the learner is doing in class. Practically, emotionally, that is the affective domain. But we didn't see the variant. That's why we were saying that some of the things that are being done in high school, yes, they are partly competency based, but there is where they just hide it. If you look at, for example, at a paper of chemistry where they are bringing, they put a picture of the bombing that happened in Japan, and then they are asking what do you see in the photograph? Is it geography photography interpretation. What would they do now in photography interpretation? Now you are trying to make the learner try to relate the nuclear chemistry with that image. I think that is still, yes, it is good, but really the photograph does not easily translate into chemistry.
Maybe some words were even supported by the picture.
Yeah, there must be some words to support that.
That was a paper of 2021. Yeah, I think so.
Then it is already
That's what I'm saying. That means that we are learning every day.
Yes.
That is a big point. We are learning every day. It was improved, but it wasn't the best. That's why I'm saying that some things are not happening the way they are supposed to happen. But when you are teaching this chemistry about plastics, and maybe you're teaching about recycling, then give me the theory of the plastics. Don't just give me that you see these bottles, you can use them to make a bicycle. As a chemist, really, is that chemistry? Yes, it is about recycling. But then the chemistry should be talking about the chemicals in the plastic and how they relate with pollution and recycling. But not just, saying that for us we are innovating this, students are doing ABC. But do they even know what they are using? So, there is need to attach theory with the practical and then integrate. That is what we've been talking about assessment. And when it comes to assessment, it is not only what the learner can write and you mark, but the behavior of this learner is what is even
The behavior has to change.
Yes, the behavior has to change. And so even during the assessment, you should assess this behavior. Not only what the learner can write. That you are giving a scenario, because that's what we were saying yesterday. The learner is doing heating in a test tube, doing a chemistry practical, but is looking at the neighbor's work. So you have given a scenario, still the student can stretch the leg, but nothing takes away the practice. The behavior, no one will copy it. It is someone's behavior change. So in the competence test, we would like more of the behavior change rather than what the learner can write and then you put a red pen. And when you come to the way I was talking about this, for example, I showed that in assessment, you don't just look at one component. In assessment, you just don't look at one component, but you look at many other components. These are learning outcomes. I think this is assessment. You look at the form of assessment, this is formative out of 50, but which competences are you assessing and what is the proposed mode of assessment? And we are saying that if it would be better if you reduce on the giving mark, the ticking, and you just emphasize more on what the learner can achieve. And then we are saying, for example, in the competence here is the application of study strategies, including time management, planning, note-taking, and so on. And here, the proposed mode can be a learner doing personal development plans. And you look at it. And even look at the way the learner is changing in behavior using this. We are talking of a learner making study schedules. And does the learner follow the study schedules? Not only the learner designing a good study schedule, which the learner cannot use, but can the learner still use? You're teaching time management and the learner is coming late. Is it good to give a scenario where the learner can easily tease out the factors and so on, time management and so on, but then the learner himself comes late? So, we are looking at competence-based, being more of practical than behavioral change than only theoretical. But the theory is equally important. It is what guides the learner to behave.
Maybe some clarification on
Yes.
the competence. They may ask themselves, where do we get the competence? So the competence comes from the learning outcome. If the learning outcome was the learner will apply something, then the competence becomes application of something, then the method, how are you going to achieve that? Blah, blah, blah.
True.
So when you're assessing, you follow the learning outcomes. That's why you get the competencies to assess.
And in this structure, there is also, you need to outline the competences.
Yes.
After the learning outcome, outline the competences. And then in assessment, make sure that all those competences are assessed.
Once again, thank you very much our trainers, and thank you team for being patient up to this particular time. I know within the heads there are a lot of pending questions, but even after our pending teachers, because they have left assignment and they expect feedback, through giving feedback we shall keep interacting and we are going to keep guiding us. As we draw perhaps to the apex of this function, I wish to invite the University Secretary to give us closing remarks. Then we shall also have closing remarks from the representative from FAWE, and the VC will give us closing remarks and close this forum officially. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. And thank you very much our own facilitators for the 2 days of very serious business. And thank you members for the attention you have given to this. I was following it online and I was seeing a lot of discussion going on. So big thanks to FAWE for giving us the opportunity to see how and you can see how hungry for this knowledge we have been. And you can see how the teachers have been shining. The secondary school teachers, because they have been in this system. And so we appreciate it. When Finsmedical University started, and we were in a meeting of 3 people before we taught the first class. And we were 3 people in a room. The idea was that how can we reduce examinations in the teaching so that the students, the graduates of Fins, don't fight so hard to pass an examination and yet they have to do so little. And the background is that people can actually pass and get a first class. But when it comes to practice, they are second class level. Practically, but in class they are passed very well. So I think the competence-based learning seems to be addressing that question that we had that time. I have another bad example. I have one of my managers at the farm. I've mentioned it is economy with a diploma in agriculture and a certificate in agriculture. And he knows almost nothing about farming. With very good qualifications from a very good university, and when you look at them, and it's very good. You ask him about the technical ones, in agriculture is very good at this one. You know, this one, the names of diseases, of coffee, but can we control the disease? He has no idea about it. So, I am seeing how where we are heading. And we are likely to address that question. And I think I was following when competence-based learning was introduced in schools. when it received a lot of resistance from the teachers, he said that, no, this is impossible, this cannot work. Over time, people started appreciating it. I can hear Sarah, Roland, and others now speaking about how it is helping students to move here and there. And also came in when someone was talking about change of attitude, the behavioral change. Both of the learners and those who are teaching, we must appreciate it for us to implement it. I think that's a very important thing that you have been discussing. Having said that, I'm really humbled that we have had this training. Doctors, thank you very much for the good job that you've done. And thank you for sharing the immense signatures. And there was an observer, as a witness. So I can tell you that we are now partners. FAO is our home, Fins is the home of FAO. And I'm going to have many more engagements, even beyond this. So, since my boss here at the VC will be coming into close, but I would like to say that as an institution, as management of Finsmedical University, we are very, very committed to support. We are very committed to facilitate and finance all that we require in the implementation. I am saying that we are going to move a little more from the classrooms to the laboratories. I'm seeing a lot of training going most likely to do with the laboratories and in the field if we are to actually implement what we have been learning. So the registrars and the human resource who have been every time the payroll comes and they check how many hours of these were in the laboratories, and there are fewer. I said HR will follow up on this. AR will follow up on this. I think now the competence-based learning is taking us there naturally. That for us to assess these competencies, they must be seen. We must see the competencies, we must see the attendance, we must see this. Do students fail? I think students will fail. Do students pass? Yes, students will pass. However, a student who is putting in so much effort will not fail, and that's been the challenge. A very active student in class, a very practical person doing ABCD. Only when theoretical exam come and is marked out of 70, the student gets 25. And that was declared a failure in life. Go home, you don't understand anything. I think that's what they would say. So this will address that challenge. Having said that, I thank you very much. The pharmacy people, I think the competence-based learning, we see a lot of you in the forests to ensure that there's a lot of hands-on and practical efforts to produce drugs. One law is leading to another until we get the final product. That's how we understand that the competence-based learning will enable this, by the time we produce this nurse, we have the super nurse who understands the customer care, who understands the patients, who has the empathy, who has the nursing skills, who has all those, the complete professional who has been called. I thank you very much and God bless you. Now I'm waiting for it from my
Thank you. The natural person went down, and the appetite was very high because the participants were very active. Now we thank the management of Finsmedical University for accepting the this far. The UIC has been very, very active since we came here. So we've been talking at times late in the night to see how we form this partnership. I forgot to talk about FAO in details yesterday, but I gave a preamble. And the details we can try to take now. FAO is a membership organization, meaning that all of us in this room can be FAO members. Okay? Even the men. Dr. Police is a FAO member. He can tell you some of the that are there, but the bottom line is that the raise resources to support more. So when you become a member, you make a contribution, and then you become a member. Okay, so I encourage. Even institutions can subscribe. You can subscribe as in Finsmedical University. We have all the other universities as members of our member, but also individually. If you want to become a fellow member, I'm just a call away. I can give you the details, the form you fill, and you become a fellow member. You can go to the fellow board and you take decisions on behalf of fellow member. But the bottom line is that these resources, those are the resources we use to reach more needy boys and girls, like we talked about yesterday. This was one of our first trainings, but I know there are quite many more to come. We have a program called the Extended Orientation Program, which we do in all our partner institutions. I know you orient students as they come in, but ours has a full package. We have a full maintenance, full module that we use. So we encourage that as we go into this details, we shall again invite you to take you through what that is. It has about 13 modules within. And we have, when you are coming to campus, what you do. So we call it extended because it doesn't end. Okay? Maybe when you're here, yours is 1 week, but ours is continuous. Until when the student lives here, we also prepare that student for life outside here. But when he's still at campus, that one is there. Also have what called the GRP, the Gender Responsive Pedagogy Trainings to be coming. We have a program called Mentorship, attaching students. Your students should have mentors. And you in this room, you should be mentors, mentoring those students. So all this is part of what we do at FAWE, and we hope that as the partnership grows, we shall be reaching out to you for support and also for trainings, for engagements as per our MOU. I'd like to thank our facilitators. These gentlemen here, you see, they bring the bridging program here at Gordon. They love it so much that even if we told them to stay here, they continue. And for us, we are happy because at least we have been, all these universities now, we are at least getting the same standards as far as the curriculum is concerned. We don't stop at training. From where we sit, it's not that we train, but what has come out of that training. Is that competence based? So for me, I cannot report that we train the staff of things. We ask what has come out of that training. So we have work to do as per our work plan, our roadmap, and we shall continue. When we came here and met the VC and the US during that meeting, we gave feedback to our executive. And the first question was, do they have a curriculum? I said, of course they have. Is it accredited? Yes. When? We are not sure when it was. Do they need any support? We said, well, what we saw and what we discussed is need for this training. Okay, to harmonize because of that. So we are there to support you. And we hope that all this period, the team, Dr. Team, Dr. Caesar, are there to support you. With the FAWE in the back of take portion of the IS. Allow me to thank the participants. They've been very active. Yesterday we left here when you were still here. That shows a lot of commitment. I think we clap for ourselves. Our universities we have gone to the facilitators and the last to leave. The participants have moved out, but the facilitators are still there. That has not happened here. So thank you so much, and back to the moderator. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. May I therefore invite our questions to discuss with us and close this session.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, sir. Mr. Moderator. Sorry, I just want to ask something. No, I'm not calling you, sir. I just need some brief moment to make a comment. Perhaps the coordinator of foreign may want to respond to that one quickly. And then there's something that we missed out.
Our team, MU managers, facilitators, participants, well-branded, lecturers, they are non-teaching staff members. This concept is not limited to teaching this group. These parents must make a follow-up in their children when they are on holiday as far as implementation of this policy is concerned. I would like to say that you have partially quenched my thirst, because the last time we were here, I was dying for you people to come and train us. Help us to understand how this concept is going to be implemented. You have wonderfully done it, and I'm happy that after declaring our ignorance, we are able to learn very well. That is why members are here and meaningfully engaging, and the participation was very good. Now, we have had a number of trainings by National Council. Sometime last year, we were at International East African University in Kansanga. We have had another one, Bishop Stewart. The team is going to Chambo for more training. You have come. Now that is where we are with training alongside this. We have very few programs, but our target is to make sure that they are reviewed and submitted on time. Possibly by end of this year. Possibly by end of this year. We have even decided to recall new programs that we have submitted sometime last year. And we are meeting the National Council officials on Friday, on the 7th. That is the speed we are on. We want to make sure that our programs are reviewed on time, submitted, so that they are properly taught. With this one, fight to punish universities which don't comply. And they mention program accreditation. They mention creation of centers and so forth. So we don't want to get caught up with these few programs, because I think they are in an advanced level where they are going to be released to start running after us when we don't comply. So on compliance, we are good, and we want to keep the spirit. The challenge we have, it came late. This policy is coming late. Implementing it can be hard. Yesterday, you mentioned something, but what I thought is, when we are preparing it, we must make sure that it is total. But now, we can't do that. We only need to make sure that every staff, new staff, are inducted on how to handle the teaching of this program. We recruit. The first thing is orientation and training on how we are going to teach. We cannot keep on changing reviewing the content and what, because we are changing the stuff. No. When we set it and decided and approved, we only need to train staff to make sure that every new staff is on board. Every new staff is on board. That is how we are going to possibly handle solve that problem as far as training is concerned. Now, the challenge, being a teacher professionally, the challenge is this teaching requires a smart teacher who is multitask. You must, when I'm asking you a question, I must immediately look at your behavior when you are answering me. When I tell you to go for laboratory work, I must watch the behavior of walking to the laboratory. I must make sure that the attitude is observed. You will not ask questions about some of these parameters. You only need to make observations. Now, when you are teaching, you need to observe the the behaviors. You need, behaviors are not only physical, but even behaviors in thinking. You need to know the concentration, the participation, everything. So the teachers here, we are tasked with a lot of work. Instant work. You enter like this, you start from there. Assessment starts from there. And that is going to be a challenge. Now, this is where teaching is either going to be an art or a science that is at your disposal. The moment you don't master the game, even when you are trained many times, you will not teach these students. These people, the students. And at this level, I expect us to do wonders. Because, for instance, in primary schools, some schools are doing well. I have two grandchildren, P3 and P4. When they come over the holidays, they told us that they have a project. That was their work. They have a project. And what was it? Planting beans and germinating them and so forth. So they struggled without any help. They would move them from the sun, they would put them here. So finally, I asked them a few questions on germination, and they were able to tell me. That is as practical as that. They used to eat beans, they didn't know how the beans are grown. Now, this is contest-based at that level. So I expect us to do more, much more. We are complaining that our animals are many, they are going to be few. Because I think biology practicals will have to go back into this S6 work of dissection. It is not dissecting them and so forth. So now we are complaining that the budget is high, but now they are going to be very few. They must go and get them again, look for these other things. It depends on how we are going to design it as we explained yesterday. So we are prepared. Our laboratories have been redundant, they are going to be engaged. They are going to have many shifts, and the laboratory people are going to make sure that HEAP is prepared, pharmacy 1 is prepared, medicine 3 is prepared. The laboratories are going to be very busy with a high cost, of course, of running them to have everything in place. I am happy that the teachers for this program are here. And they have been trained before, and I hope they are going to do much more. And you expect us to keep in touch with you when it comes to training. We are going to privately consult you to look at our other programs on the private arrangement so that the programs are well prepared and they can easily be taught to fit the standard. We set a timeline as the National Council of Pieces, so we are working toward that to make sure that we do the needful to make sure that the policy can be implemented. So, having said that, I would like to stop here. The MOU will be implemented. I don't think we signed for purposes of signing. We shall make sure that it is implemented, and we'll keep in touch. I hope the behavior now with whist, I don't know, we discussed assessing behaviors, but this time around I was given a task when I know running behaviors have already been influenced by something else which we are going to handle very quickly. That is why I didn't want us to have a recent discussion, because it has something to do with us when it comes to perception using our mind. So let us first do that. When we eat, we will get possibly a better story than what you would have gotten if you had assisted. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, participants. I am very, very happy that you are here, and our behaviors from yesterday would have been influenced. Maybe you didn't know, you didn't get the invitation on time to know that it started yesterday. Some of you came today, others were busy. We have exams running, people are in and out, giving out booklets and so on. But we have tried to make sure that we participate. And I am happy that you have done this wonderful job, and the rest will be very easy for us to work on. Thank you very much, and your team, and thank you very much, participants and the management, for creating space and environment for us. I thank you very much, and I wish you the best, because I mean, other things will inform me and you, and I think definitely to come again and say something. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. According to our program, we are going to have lunch. After lunch, we are going to have photo moment. I want to thank all those that have put on foul t-shirts. I believe the message is already within people. After the photo moments, there is a form that we are supposed to have in our signatures. Lastly, I request Dean Kagole, Dean of Nursing, to give us a prayer and we go for that.
Before you first, allow me to speak.
I'm the coordinator and I'm saying that is what
Let us stand up for a prayer and let's serve ourselves for a prayer. I'm praying in a Christian way. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, I just want to thank you so much for this moment. I just want to thank you for keeping us alive. And I just want to thank you for the facilitators that you brought since yesterday up to today. Here we are, we have completed the workshop. Father, all glory and honor has to be yours, because it was according to your plan that we complete this workshop at this moment. At this juncture, Father, we are going to have our meals. I kindly ask you to bless the meals. Bless all those people that have prepared the meals. Bless us also as we partake the meals, Father, so that it can be nourished to our bodies. Glory and honor is yours in the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Thank you.